Pedro.
I gotta wake up and go get the bread. I gotta go ahead and clip up the smash. She all in her feelings, she giving me sex. I got a slack, sweat my ass. Count up on a move, that's a digital dash. They been just losing, I'm living these fads. Never go broke cause I got me a stash. I could never ever live in the past. I gotta wake up and go get the bread. I gotta go ahead and clip up the smash. She all in her feelings, she giving me sex. I got a slack, sweat my I gotta wake up and go get the bread. I gotta go ahead and clip up the smash. She all in her feelings, she giving me sex. I got a slack, sweat my ass. Count up on a move, that's a digital dash. They been just losing, I'm living these fads. Never go broke cause I got me a stash. I could never ever live in the past. I gotta wake up and go get the bread. I gotta go ahead and clip up the smash. She all in her feelings, she giving me sex. I got a slack, sweat my
By CP3.
Finish here, okay?
Ooh, my bad, coach.
Jimmy,
Sorry about
give me a
that.
second, Jimmy. I gotta talk to you.
I didn't even knock. I apologize.
What's up, Coach?
Hey, Jimmy.
How you doing?
Listen, congratulations, you're a Pro Bowl player.
Oh my gosh, you got me.
No, congratulations.
Oh, thank you, Coach.
I'm very proud, very happy.
Thank you.
Congratulations,
For-
Pro Bowl player.
Oh, dope. That's
Yes,
what's up.
you are, man. I'm proud of you.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations. You knew, didn't you?
I had a feeling.
you-
I ain't wanna add.
You know, you showed everybody why
Yeah.
you're the face of our franchise.
I appreciate that, Coach.
Nah,
Thanks
proud
for
of you,
telling
man.
me. Yes,
Nah.
sir.
Jonathan Allen,
Cool.
Tress Way,
Nice.
and Jeremy Reeves.
That's big time. Reeves got in?
Yeah,
That's what's up. He deserves it.
He's the special
He's a
teams
difference
guy.
maker.
Yeah.
He's been a difference maker
Yeah.
all year for us.
I'm only going to tell you one other guy, okay?
Okay.
And
Can I
that's-
ask who?
Yeah,
Who?
Jeremy.
Oh my
Now,
gosh,
but
you got me.
but you can't say anything, okay? I'm gonna talk to him. I'm gonna talk to him right after the defensive meeting.
Oh hell no! Pull him out of that, man. Are you kidding me? Could you? I wanna be here when you tell him. I'll hide, but like,
Yeah. Okay.
can I be here when you tell Reeves?
Yeah, you can. I'm happy to have you here. You, Jeremy? No, yeah. Don't mind him. We're just finished. I got to finish that up in a second. But listen, congratulations. You're the Pro Bowl special teams guy. You're the starter. You earned it, young man. Everything you've done, and I know your mom would be proud. You earned it, young man.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Yo. He wouldn't stop.
Congrats, dude. Proud
Love you too.
All right.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Nah, you earned it. Like I said, man. I just appreciate you trusting me.
Always, Coach.
Nah.
Told you I want to throw a brick wall for you.
Nah, I know you would too. Well, I appreciate you. I'm very proud of you. I really am. Nah, you earned it, young man.
Thank you.
You earned it.
Yes, sir.
That's freaking awesome.
What's going on, people? CP3 live on location once again. And I guess you can say in the lab part 2, coming at you week 17. Huge matchup for the Commanders. But before we go there, I'm going to just say Happy New Year. I know a lot of folks probably still sleeping and sleeping off last night's activities and festivities, but appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm just going to do a quick pregame before this huge matchup against the Cleveland Browns. Washington Commanders 7-7-1, Browns 6-9. Browns fighting for their playoff lives. Commanders fighting to lock in their playoff position. Currently, they're sitting at number 7. Depending on the way the day ends with every other team that's in the wild card race, if the Commanders win, Giants lose, and Seattle loses, and I believe Detroit loses, I believe the Commanders will lock in their playoff spot. If they lose, we don't want to talk about that. But they handle their business and win the game against Cleveland, which is definitely a winnable game. And, the Colts beat the Giants and a couple of these upsets that might come true. Then, we'll have something to talk about in the post game if we are locked into a playoff spot. And the game against Dallas next week will be basically to keep them from winning the division, depending on what Philly does today. They're going with their backup quarterback. Jalen Hurts is still out. So, last week they lost to the Cowboys with the backup. They played a good game, but still, came up short. So, it's a lot of stuff going down this week that is going to determine how these playoffs roll out. That's why I love that all 4 teams in the division are in contention for the playoffs. And, can't ask for more, especially 2 years ago when they were all under 500 and Commanders made the playoffs by winning with a 7-9 record. But that's here or there. Just want to touch on the wild card stuff a little bit. Moving forward, Commanders are 3-4 at home. Would love to get this win to go to 500. Browns are 2-5 on the road. They've got Deshaun Watson back as of week 13. He's been, rusty. He didn't play for almost a season and a half due to injury and suspension. So he's not really, locked into his receivers right now. They don't really have a lot of receivers. They're a run-heavy team. Nick Chubb is killing it. He has over 1,300 yards rushing this year, 12 touchdowns. So this is definitely a winnable game, but it's also a game that any given Sunday, the other team can pull it off. Like I said, Cleveland's fighting for their playoff hopes. We're fighting for a playoff spot. So they both have something, to fight for, to play for. And hopefully we see better execution from this team in the red zone. And also, have to mention Carson Wentz is getting the start. A lot of folks, upset. A lot of folks happy. I'm of the mindset that he looked good in relief. He did take a couple of sacks. So my thing is he has to get rid of the ball, hit his open man, let the playmakers make plays. And if he doesn't look well, you still have Taylor you can bring in to, try to spark the team and, recover from whatever bad may have happened. So that's the way I choose to look at it. Some folks are, the money, the $28 million definitely has to play a role in it because you gave the money up for the guy you want to see now that he's healthy and he's seen the offense, he's ran the offense, he saw Taylor run the offense, so hopefully he has some more comfortable feeling with this offense and he can execute. If he comes in and spark and they put up 25, 30 points, everybody going to be happy. Well, no, not everybody. We know there's some still going to be mad for some reason or other. But it is what it is. Moving forward, looking at the stats, run down these real quick. Deshaun Watson, since he's been back, 71 for 123, 703 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Carson Wentz, 156 for 248, 1,612 yards, 11 touchdowns, 6 interceptions with the 86.3 quarterback rating. And Deshaun Watson has a 69.3 quarterback rating since coming back. Nick Chubb, as I mentioned, has 276 carries, 1,344 yards, 4.87 yard average with 12 touchdowns. Brian Robinson, 181 carries, 710 yards, 3.92 yard average with 2 touchdowns. Amari Cooper, 73 catches, 1,004 yards, 13.75 yards per catch with 7 touchdowns. Terry McLaurin, 72 catches for 1,092 yards with a 15.7 yard reception average with 4 touchdowns. Like I said, his key is going to be containing Nick Chubb. He's a talented running back. He can catch screens. He can catch out of the backfield. He's a hard runner. He can run off tackle. He can bounce it outside. So the key is going to be to contain him and keep Watson in the pocket also because his legs can hurt us. We've fared pretty well with mobile quarterbacks this year. Had a couple of hiccups with Daniel Jones and Mariota on some of those zone reads. Players, the defensive linemen weren't being disciplined and sticking to their assignments. But for the most part, they've been pretty good at keeping the mobile quarterbacks, in check. We saw they held Hurts down twice for under 70 yards in both contests total. And he saw him put up 100 and something, a couple of weeks ago in the first half. So I'm not really worried about Watson's legs. I'm more worried about Chubb because the more carries he gets, the stronger he gets. And our defense has been playing to run pretty well. So hopefully that continues because yeah, if he gets going, yeah, it's gonna be a long day. It's gonna be a long day. Let's get into the team numbers. Offensively, Cleveland puts up 368 yards total a game, which is 13. Excuse me, and the Commanders put up 355, which is 17. Passing, Cleveland averages 207 yards a game, which is 22nd. Commanders 212, which is 19. Excuse me. Rushing, Cleveland runs for 147 yards a game, which is 5th. Commanders are 123, which is 13. Not to mention, I forgot that Antonio Gibson, he'll be out with a foot injury. So Williams and Patterson might get called up. I gotta check I don't think they called him up, so it'll probably be Williams, B. Rob, and we'll see if anyone else be handling the rock. Points, 21.5 points a game for Cleveland, which is 14. 19 points for Commanders, which is 24. So, Cleveland is 21.5. So with 2.5 percentage points, that's 2.5 points, that's 5 spots in the NFL standings, just to give you an idea how close everything is with all of the teams in the league, with the parity and, competition and everything. Third down conversions on offense, Cleveland is 20th in the league with 38%, and the Commanders are 25th in the league at 35%. We know our third down struggles, and we know that they've had them for a while, but, we've also had some good games where they did well in third down conversions. So it's all about being consistent and executing on the field to be successful and win the game. And that's all coaches have been preaching. And when they do that, they generally win. So hopefully they can do that today. Defensively, Cleveland gives up 348 yards a game, which is 14. Commanders give up 330, which is 3rd. Passing yards, Cleveland gives up 201, which is 8th. Commanders give up 198, which is 7th. Running the ball, Cleveland gives up 134 yards a game, which is 25th, and the Commanders are going to give up 114, which is 13th. Points per game, Cleveland is at 22.9, giving up a game, and that's 21st in the league. The Commanders are giving up 20.9, which is 11th in the league. Now, 2 points in the defensive side of it, and that's 10 positions. Offensively, when it was 2 points, that was 10 also. So, as I say, parity. Third down conversions on defense. Cleveland is 8th in the league at 37.5. And lo and behold, the Washington Commanders are tied for first for third down conversions at 32.6%. Now, we go back a few years ago when we were dead last. Yeah, that's huge for this team to, be able to do that, because third down conversions are so crucial in the outcome of games. If you can't get off the field and the other team, we've seen it happen many times before. So I don't even want to go into it. I'm going to go into the keys of victory because we're going to stay on a positive note. I'm about to wrap up because I'm about to fix some breakfast and get ready for the game myself. Keys to victory. Number 1, run the ball to control the clock. The number one way to keep Nick Chubb off the field, keep him on the sideline, running the ball yourself and controlling the time of possession, which the Commanders are number 1 in the league in. Which, as I said, goes into number 2, contain Chubb. He's a beast. He can take over a game. All they do is just step back and hand the ball off. So contain him, keep him, he's going to get his yards, but don't let him go crazy. And no explosive plays, no big long runs. Number 3, no turnovers and forced turnovers. Last 3 games, they 0-2-1, negative in the turnover differential. When they were on the 1 to 6 out of 7, I believe they were plus 13. So, number 4, Carson Wentz get the ball out quick. Get it to the open man. Hit your check downs. If it's not deep, take it short. keep moving the chains, stay ahead of the chains. Therefore, you can keep the running game vital in this because we know how Scott gets amnesia about calling running plays for some reason, which goes into number 5. Scott Turner stick with the run. Cleveland has a quality defense, but they're not, one that's topless that's just going to shut down the run game like we saw against San Francisco last week. They give up 134 yards on the ground. So there's no reason why Scott shouldn't be able to continue to run the ball like everyone else has for 17 weeks on this team. And number 6, normally I just do 5. I'm just do number 6 as an asterisk because this pretty much doesn't need to be said. But defense continue to play well, play discipline, and force some turnovers and avoid penalties. I know Cam Curl is questionable. St. Juice didn't practice two days this week. I haven't seen the inactive list yet. Let me double check before I get off to see if it's come through yet. As of right now, no, it has not dropped. I think it drops around 11:30. So I'll put a post out on a page with the inactives after I finish doing what I'm doing. As I say, as always, appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm about to jump off, get some breakfast, settle in, get ready for this game, set up for the post game. Make sure you tune in. I'm going to break it down. Win, lose, or draw, it don't make a difference, but hopefully we'll be going into a Victory Monday into the new 2023. So chill out, pop them aspirin, get some grease on your stomach to soak up that alcohol because I know y'all was drinking last night. And I catch you after the game. As always, Sports on the Hill podcast, DC Sports Without the Politics. It's not just a catchphrase. It's not just a motto. It's what we do. CP3, live from the lab part 2, and I'm out.